Newly unearthed documents suggest that notorious gangster Kenneth Noye was let off with a suspended sentence after a Metropolitan Police officer misled a judge. Former Scotland Yard Commander Ray Adams is said to have intervened in prosecutions to prevent Noye going to jail for bribing a policeman in 1977. Kenneth Noye, now 76, went on years later to fatally stab an undercover officer investigating his involvement in the laundering of £26 million of gold bullion from the 1983 Brinks Mat robbery. He killed again in 1996, murdering Stephen Cameron, who was 21 years old, in a road rage attack on the M25 in Kent. According to a leaked report into alleged corruption in the Met, Commander Ray Adams misled Croydon Crown Court in South London as Kenneth Noye faced bribery charges. Ray Adams, the Met's former head of criminal intelligence, is said to have claimed Kenneth Noye was a current active informant, even though the crime boss was not an active registered police informant at the time. The report said it is possible with hindsight to say the court, particularly the judge, was misled, but it concluded there was no evidence which suggests these actions were corrupt motives by police, and in particular, Adams. The landmark report called Operation Russell on police corruption was kept secret for more than 3 decades. The independent report said the force had failed to learn lessons from the unsolved 1987 murder of private investigator Daniel Morgan, which was tainted by cover-ups. Commander Ray Adams was in charge of gathering information about major criminal networks at the time of the Operation Russell probe in 1987 to 88. There were rumours at the time that Met officers were taking bribes from criminals to get them bail, which appeared to have been backed up by a recording from a police informant. But despite the claims, the operation ended with no one facing any disciplinary action or charges, and Scotland Yard resisted requests to publish its findings. Kenneth Noye was suspected of having multiple officers in his pocket, the documents indicate. 1947, Kenneth Noye is born in Bexley-Heath, South East London. In 1977, he falls into crime and gets an 18-month suspended sentence for having a shotgun. November 1983, the Brinks Mat robbery took place where 6 gunmen burst into a warehouse near Heathrow and escaped with £26 million. January 1985, Kenneth Noye stabbed police officer John Fordham to death in the grounds of his home in West Kingston, Kent. He was under surveillance at the time. John Fordham was investigating the Brinks Mat robbery. December 1985, jury cleared Noye of murder after agreeing he acted in self-defence. In July 1986, he's jailed for 14 years for conspiring to handle Brinks Mat gold and evade VAT payments. 1994, he's released from prison. May 1996, he stabbed Stephen Cameron, 21, to death in a road rage attack on the M25 near Swanley, Kent. August 1998, Kenneth Noye was arrested in Spain. April 2000, Kenneth Noye is convicted of the murder and given a life sentence. In 2017, he is authorised to move to an open prison. He is seen on day release from Stanford Hill Prison a year later. May 2019, Parole Board announced decision to free him. June 2019, Kenneth Noye is released. Kenneth Noye was suspected of having multiple officers in his pocket, the documents indicate. He later tried and failed to bribe a detective investigating the Brinks Mat robbery in November 1983 by offering him £1 million. After Kenneth Noye stabbed a police officer, John Fordham, to death in 1985, he made much of his long association with Ray Adams, telling detectives that the commander would vouch he is not a man of violence, according to the Operation Russell report. DC Fordham was acting undercover and part of a surveillance operation investigating Noye's involvement in the laundering of gold bullion from a robbery. After entering the grounds, DC Fordham, 45 years old, disturbed Kenneth Noye's Rottweilers, which attracted the attention of Kenneth Noye, who stabbed him to death. The gangster was cleared of murder after a jury accepted his claim that he acted in self-defence. Kenneth Noye was jailed for 14 years for handling stolen gold and was freed in 1994. He then stabbed motorist Stephen Cameron to death while on release from prison on licence in 1996 in front of the victim's fiancée. Commander Ray Adams was the subject of 2 major corruption allegations and 11 other complaints during his career between 1965 and 1985. In 1990, the Director of Public Prosecutions announced there was no evidence to support any charge against him regarding corruption allegations. But questions remained how he funded to live in a £500,000 mock Tudor mansion beside a Surrey golf course in 1987 after he left the force. He argued it was the benefit of having an independently wealthy wife. Kenneth Noye was known to be associated with the father of one of the killers of Stephen Lawrence, David Norris. During the McPherson inquiry into the racist murder of the black teenager, Operation Russell's findings were ruled as unadmissible.